Hi Pisces, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your reading for mid-August. This is Coconut. I'm dog sitting. So we've got some pup energy here for your reading. Okay, so I'm deciding to use a spread that I posted over on Instagram. If you don't follow me, check it out at Unseen Hands Healing. So this is a spread about the shape that you are shifting out of, the shape that you are shifting into, and what that shift actually looks like. So, August is always a bit of a shape-shifting month. It's always a pretty massive transition. But this August, more than most, because there is not only a seasonal shift that we're making, but there is a massive collective energetic shift that is happening right now at this time in the history of our universe, really, but especially for our human experience. We're just getting a massive shift. And on the 11th of August, Jupiter stations direct. That is going to feel like a pretty big shift, I think. That's what it feels like to me. And Mercury is leaving its retrograde shadow zone and heading into Leo, which I think is also going to feel like a really palpable shift for us. And then we're looking forward to this Aquarius full moon. So there's a lot happening in the stars that is influencing the way that shift is felt collectively. And of course, that's going to echo into our individual lives in different ways. So with all of that going on, and this being a pretty major moment of spiritual upgrade, I want to take a look at what that shift looks like for you, Pisces. Before we get into that, as I was meditating on your energy before I pulled cards, I just invite in any visualizations that want to come in for you. And it was interesting. What I got was, I wasn't actually doing this, but I felt this like furrow in my brow. Like I felt it was almost like clownish. Like I felt my brow sort of going like this in a very extreme way. And it was like intense concentration, intense confusion right around the third eye, and really trying to figure out like what's coming in, what is this? And then all of a sudden the Pisces symbol popped out of my third eye. Like that was the feeling and the image that I got, is the actual, did I just say, I just said the Pisces symbol. I meant to say the Cancer symbol, because it was the two, you know what I'm talking about. But what I saw was the very Pisces energy. I don't know, there's something here about Pisces Cancer, because it felt very Piscean, this like two fish doing this little spin dance, but it was the Cancer symbol, zodiac symbol, but it was two fish doing this dance, which is Pisces energy. And they were circling, and it was like almost like this little frisbee, like this little disc that came out of my third eye and was like sort of spinning around in front of me, and then it would go back in, and then it would come out and spin around in front of me, and then it would go back in. And I was like following it with my gaze. It was almost like this little fairy. And then sometimes it would dart over here, and sometimes it would dart over here, and then it would go back in. And it was this really sort of baffling experience that I was having. And I could feel your energy, Pisces, just like being baffled by this and being like, what is this? What? And then I started to feel a paranoia about like, okay, I don't know what's real. Like I don't know if this is something that I'm intuiting, or like just this dilemma about feeling really unfocused, because there was a lot coming in intuitively, and I could sometimes see it come out in the 3D, but then it would go back in, so it's this sort of like elusive intuition. That's what I'm getting for you. And then at some point it re-entered my third eye, and then I felt it drop down into the center of my body. And then from that moment on, there was like this image of me, you, walking through the world with this like light beam shining out from my center, from my solar plexus chakra, really shining out from my center, helping me to manifest the things that I was intuiting in the 3D. So that was the journey that your meditation took me on. So there's something here for you about, trusting the things that you are sensing, the things that you sense to be true, even if you don't see them fully in the 3D. It's like sometimes you see them, but sometimes you don't. And so it's this real like limbo period of like, is anything I feel really happening or really true? I just saw 555. Talk about, that like those synchronistic, some people call them angel numbers, and the 555 is really like change, transition, upheaval, like, so it's just speaking further to this shift. And I'm thinking for you, this is like a massive shift. It's very internal for you, Pisces, and it really has to do with you trusting your intuition. And once you integrate that intuitive energy like into the core of your being, and you start walking through the world like that, the fabric of your reality that you can like tangibly feel, taste, touch, and smell will change. It will change because you have changed. And it will start to reflect your intuition. You will start to see that reflection of as inside, so outside. I want to say, instead of as above, so below, as inside, so outside. Hope that makes sense for you, Pisces. That's what's coming through. So then the shape you're shifting out of and the shape you're shifting into is a bit congruent, actually. As I laid these cards, I was like, oh yeah, okay, 8 of Swords. So in the 8 of Swords energy, and especially in this card in particular, this person feels really, really trapped. See that? Stuck in this like prison. And usually the 8 of Swords is sort of a prison of your own mind. So I think that's partly true for you here, Pisces, because I felt so strongly this like internal paranoia about not being able to trust myself and not being able to trust what I feel and what I see. Because maybe what you feel is different from what you see, that can make you feel sort of like stuck. Like, okay, I can't really make a decision. I can't really move because I don't know what's real. And so I'm just going to stay here, stay stuck in this energy. But with this card, I always see like this flower that's dropping down. And I'll get to this in a second. Part of your transition is this sword, which feels like it's dropping down. See this dropping down? It's like the truth. Because in the visualization, you were so unfocused. You needed to focus, and once that energy was integrated into more of your like internal physical body space, then it was like that beam was very focused and you were able to walk forward out of this stagnant energy of feeling stuck. So there's some sort of like internal process that has you feeling really stuck inside yourself, almost like trapped inside your own being, your own psyche. But I see you walking forward once this is integrated, this intuitive thing, once you can trust your own intuition and you can feel like you can trust yourself, I see you walking forward with that trust, that like core trust in yourself, which then basically like busts open your world to reflect that internal trust and give you the power and the direction and the focus you need to actually move, to actually take forward steps. So the shape you're shifting out of is this trapped energy, trapped inside yourself. The shape you're shifting into, which is really nice here, it's the Knight of Cups, which is forward movement from your heart. You know, it is compassionate energy. It's also really enthusiastic energy, because it's like, this is really, really romantic, and it doesn't have to be a love situation, although I am strongly, not that I'm seeing it reflected in the cards so much, but I'm strongly feeling a love connection for someone, like a really strong romantic heart connection that is coming through for somebody out there, but it's not necessarily every Pisces. But we do have this romantic energy, and, you know, romantic energy doesn't have to just be around love and romance. Romantic energy can come into play at work. You know, you can feel romantic about the work that you do. You can be so in love with it. You can feel romantic about the way that you treat yourself and interact with yourself. So what this is really, it's like your heart and your emotions bursting forth from the depths, because we've got this wave, this like deep wave that the horse and the knight in shining armor, I will say, are bursting out of those depths with the Holy Grail, with this revelation. And there's some really big revelation energy here in general, because I think there's like something trying to make its way through your third eye. There's something trying to make its way through your intuition. I just saw 1133. And you keep doubting it, and it keeps eluding you. And it's this vicious cycle. You're doubting it, so it keeps eluding you. And that's why you're doubting it, because it keeps eluding you, you know? So it's this like obnoxious, actually like the Cancer symbol, the fish chasing each other. There's like something about fish chasing each other. And that's very much an energy happening inside of you. It's like your consciousness and your intuition sort of chasing each other, not really meeting up. But I think that's also being reflected in a relationship that somebody out there is experiencing, that I'm picking up on this relationship also of like these two fish doing this dance in circles and circles and circles and not really connecting. But I see a breakthrough with that. It's like, I went to the depths and I came back out with the truth. Yes. This feels really victorious. So this is definitely a victory with your own, that battle between your mind and your intuition. It's like a victory with your own self. And so the shift looks like this. This is really interesting because we've got these two like light, like white and blue cards, and then we've got 3 black cards. You can probably see that. So the first is this 9 of Swords energy. The 9 of Swords, this is you like honestly being just totally confused and overwhelmed and racked with your own thoughts and not knowing what's real. This is a person being kept up at night. They're going like this, and there's all of these like energies around them with swords sort of poking at them, you know, and I just saw 1333. Wow. A lot of number synchronicities coming through for you, Pisces. Wild. Sometimes I see 333 as being, I see 333 as being aligned, spiritual alignment, and this whole reading for you so far is about spiritual alignment. That's really what we're talking about, is you aligning your intuition, because when that intuition falls down into the core of you, then you are aligned and then you can move forward. But there's this thing, there's a disconnect right now that's happening, I think, that feels a bit like a spell, almost like you're under a spell. Because sometimes I feel that with 333. I just saw 1414. This is kind of intense. I don't always, numbers don't always come through like that on these videos. I mean, they come through, but not like this. This is like boom, 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 Pisces. Wow. So you are in this transition of aligning with yourself spiritually, but you know what that looks like often, and I'm speaking from experience, that looks like the dark night of the soul. So somebody could really 1444. Oh my God. I think it's because they're trying to tell me that I'm like I'm on some shit here with somebody, and they're also trying to tell you that what you are intuiting, you're on some shit too. Like, you're onto something. You are onto something. You are so close to some sort of spiritual alignment, and often when you're very close to that integration is when it feels the worst. At least in my experience, it feels the worst. Like, you have no idea what's real. You really don't feel like you can trust yourself. You feel like, oh my God, am I losing it? Am I actually losing it? And that's this energy of the Nine of Swords. And it's also interesting that your part of your shift out of the 8 is that you have to go to the 9. And I kind of hate to say it, but that's also true in my experience with this kind of spiritual awakening process, is like, I want to get closer to you. Okay. This is actually what it looks like. You feeling trapped inside yourself and feeling like you can't move and not being able to see the way clearly. And then it kind of gets, I don't want to say worse, but I'm going to. It gets harder to deal with before it gets easier to deal with. It's like, it gets harder to deal with because this process really does have to take you down to a certain place where you have no choice but to trust. You have no choice but to trust yourself and trust what you intuit. And you kind of surrender. You get to this point of surrender where you're just like, all right, listen, what I feel has got to be true. There's a card in the liminal space deck, which I'll pull a card for you later in the reading, that says magic is either everything or it's nothing. And I'm so in that energy right now myself, where it's like, all right, the things that I feel are either absolutely everything, and it's like, not everything we feel is totally accurate, but the things that I'm intuiting, magic is either everything or it's nothing, and I'm choosing everything. I choose everything, and I think whoever's resonating with this reading so far, that's your calling as well, your invitation to choose to believe in what you feel and what is coming through in your deepest gut. So it goes from this internal trapped energy to this like breaking point of like, something's got to give. And then beautifully something does. Here we have the Ace of Swords, which is the revelation. This is the revelation. This is the revelation that leads you to move forward from your heart, trusting your heart. This revelation comes in, and it does feel like a revelation that has to do with two people. In this deck in particular, at this time in mid-August, this has been coming out for so many people. And what I feel when it comes out is like a revelation between two spirits. So it's first and foremost for you, Pisces, a revelation between like your physical 3D human self and your intuitive psychic self, I'll say. So there's an alignment that needs to happen with that, and it happens through some sort of revelation. It's like spirit comes in and drops that in on ya. Drops that truth. It's like you move from all these truths and what's real to one truth. That's the alignment. It drops in. That's the revelation. And for someone here, I'm really picking up on a relationship. And I have been picking up on that for you, Pisces, whoever I'm talking to here, whoever I've been talking to. So if you're new to my channel, go back and watch the July and August videos for Pisces, because this is a bit of a continuation of those messages. But the revelation comes through that affects these two souls. And if it's definitely like the two sort of conflicting spirits within you, but it's also potentially a relationship or of some sort. Doesn't have to be romantic, but it very well could be. And then here, the last part of this shift into Knight of Cups energy, which feels very refreshing, by the way. and feels like really who you are, Pisces. Such a romantic heart. And it feels like you get to return to that energy after some like real tough stuff. And the last stage in that shift process for you is this devil energy, which may not sound like it's a positive energy, but it actually is. I'm really, really happy to see this as the last stage of this process, because the devil card is the card of ultimate liberation in the tarot. It is the card of liberation. The devil shows up when you are ready to liberate yourself from the things that hold you back, from the things that keep you trapped and bound and stuck. So the devil is the last step in this process, the last stage. And I think in these last readings, Pisces, a huge focus that has been coming through for you is this thing of like facing what you fear within yourself. And perhaps what you really fear is that you have this intuitive ability, this intuitive knowing. Yeah, I just saw 2112. Dang. You have this intuitive knowing that you're afraid of, and 2121. This is getting a little ridiculous, but it's kind of cool. You've got to believe in yourself, Pisces. You've got to believe in what you cannot see. You've got to believe in the unseen at work within you, because it is so at work within you. And once you do, you stop a cycle of self-sabotage and eating yourself. And actually what's interesting with this, because, you know, the devil here is eating this person in the card. This is my favorite devil card ever, ever, ever. But what I saw for you was actually this devil is you. It's like once you face the thing that you're afraid of, you take on this power. It's not like dark power, that's not what I'm saying, but you take on this power and you eat that last vestige of you. You swallow that so that you are a whole integrated being, so that you are not two separate parts, but rather united into one, which is also what I saw with that like thing that keeps jumping out of you, finally going in through your third eye and like gulp down into your center. And then when you're aligned and integrated, you can move forward. It's also interesting too, because I'm realizing with these birds, they're almost doing this dance that I saw the two fish doing a dance with one another. It's like that cycle, and then they finally meet and drop in. That's what's happening. This is super specific because this is not necessarily the traditional meaning of these cards. But I like it. Also, I'm gonna hold up these three for you to see this progression. Even just like, do you see the simplification? Many creatures all flying around to distilled down to two, distilled down to one. It is a process of integration. And it's all very internal because we've got these like 3 black background cards. This is all happening like in the dark of your internal space, in the dark of your subconscious. But then it's like you get this moment to burst through into the 3D. It's like you come up out of that subconscious realm with the freaking Holy Grail, and it's like you are back and better than ever in a fully integrated being, ready to move from your heart because finally you trust your heart. God, this could apply to really so many situations, Pisces. It's a very meta reading. You know, I did ask a quick card just to clarify how the visualization that came to me is applicable to this shift for you. And what came out is the 9 of Cups, which I love to see because this really is like a war of, can I follow my desires? Can I truly follow my desires? Or do I need to go with logic? Can I actually have my dreams? And the answer is yes. That's what you realize, and that's what you integrate. That your dreams are not separate of you. They are not some unachievable thing outside of you. They are absolutely integrated, and you can walk towards them once you integrate them. Once you integrate them in a way that says, this is not something outside of me that I'm trying to reach. This is actually already who I am and what I deserve. And then it's like, oh. And then suddenly your dreams aren't something you're walking towards. They're something that are actively already true, already present, already here for you. And you can just walk in them. And look at all the abundance. Okay. Also funny too, because see this person here with the pearl, that's that disc that I kept seeing coming out and being outside of you and then finally integrating. And it almost looks like this person's trying to catch that, and it's like about to enter her head and drop down. Cool. Really, really cool. So again, we have this really solo journey for you, internal journey for you, Pisces, that is going to affect whatever situations are going on in your outside world. So I am going to take a card from the postcards from the liminal space, because, you know, a shift is a liminal space. It really is. And it's hard to be in that liminal space. But I am going to continue this reading in an extended. I'm going to take some clarification, a little bit of clarification on the energies that came out. I want to see if this like partnership energy comes through that I'm feeling. But I also want to continue to pull cards for this, because, you know, we never just shift from point A to point B and then we're done. Once we make a shift, there's another shift to be made, and another, and another, and another. Those shifts continue. And so I'm going to continue to pull cards to see where this Knight of Cups momentum is taking you. So if you're interested in that, there's going to be a link below that you can follow onto Patreon, or find me on Instagram and send me a DM, and you'll have access to this extended video. Okay. You will have access to that should you choose. But if not, for those of you that won't join me there, I want to offer you a liminal space card. So what is the liminal space advice, bit of wisdom for Pisces as they make this shift? I'm very happy to see this for you. What you love loves you back, Pisces. That's the Nine of Cups. That is the Nine of Cups. What you love, desire, dream, hope, wish for, wishes, hopes, dreams, and desires you in return. These intuitive things that you think are something outside of you are absolutely not. They are yours, they are inherently yours, and they are already part of you. Integrate them and walk through the world from that perspective, trusting that what you love loves you back. What you want also wants you. Be that career, be that love, be that family, whatever that is. Your dream dreams of you. I am going to read it to you because I just really like the way the authors talk about this. And I'll link to this deck in the description box as well if you're interested. Here we go. Love, like magic or God, is a concept that evades satisfactory definition, but it is the driving force of everything we do. Perhaps they are all different words for the same thing. In practice, this could look like watering your house plants, taking your dog on a walk, or admiring a painting you know is not for sale. A good rule of thumb is you cannot love someone and control them at the same time. Your life is a mirror of how you love, no exceptions. Very, very powerful. And it's interesting, this thing of you cannot love someone and control them at the same time, because that is really, really present here. And honestly, that may be the revelation. I'm actually feeling that really strongly for someone that I'm picking up on here. That may be the revelation that's coming through, the revelation between two spirits. The revelation for you is that you cannot love someone and control someone at the same time, because a lot of the times the devil energy, the thing that holds you back, can be about control. The thing you are being liberated from, now that the devil has showed up in your reading again, the thing that you are being liberated from is control, the need to control. You cannot love someone and control them at the same time. I think that's really, really true. And I think this is a very basic, like, foundational, because I'm getting my, like, root and sacral chakras in the back of my body are going like this, which feels to me like it's an unconscious operating system for your energy that you, like, either came into this life with or learned at a very young age, this modus of controlling what you love. Yeah, wow, that's really, really true, because I'm telling you, it's going like this. So, relinquish control. Whoever this message is for, and it might not be for all of you, but relinquish control. Look at the ways that you have been controlled. Look at the ways that you came into this world seeing control and love going hand in hand, and release it. Release it. And then you emerge victorious in your romantic pursuit. Then the cup that you offer is truly holy. Then the romance that you offer is grounded in something true. Wow. What you love loves you back. It just doesn't want to be controlled. And neither do you. Nobody does. Wow, really, really powerful, strong reading here, Pisces, again. Okay, so if this is resonating for you and you want to follow me into the extended, click the link below. If not, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and it would help me out a lot and help this video get out to the other Pisces that need to hear it. If you click that like button, help us surf the Instagram, I keep saying that, YouTube wave. And also click subscribe so we can stay together and connected as we move into September. Thank you so much for watching, Pisces. Good luck with the rest of August, and I'll talk to you then.